Hey, so I missed a couple of days. I did not even see this as in the time in which I was supposed to. Been moving and relocating. We had the sound a little bit better, but tune in a little bit later on when we're going to have it way better. But I pretty much did what I needed to do. Without no further ado, if y'all can't hit that like button, force us into the algorithms, the only channel you need to be when it comes to that Lil Durk news. Let's go. So as y'all can see right here, Bilal Esley, Bill, like he liked to try to say, government's response to defendant Durk Banks' supplemental brief in support of its motion to exclude proposed 404B evidence, United States versus Durk Banks. And y'all can see right here, plaintiff United States of America, by and through its counsel of record, Assistant United States Attorney Ian Yanello Gregory and Daniel Weiner hereby files its motion to defendant Durk Banks' supplemental brief in support of its motion to exclude proposed 404B evidence, docket 350. And it says this response is based upon the attached memorandum of points and authorities, the files and records in this case, and such further evidence and argument as the court may permit, dated January 30th. So let's get straight into it all, man. Memorandum of Appointing Authorities introduction. At the court's direction, the government provided defendants with an additional disclosure related to excerpts of music videos and lyrics the government intends to introduce at trial. The music admissions, the disclosure sets forth specific and neurally tailored excerpts of 12 songs, 9 music videos, and 3 audio files that are relevant and material to disputed issues in this case. For example, the government intends to introduce a small portion of defendant Banks' risky music video that 1 premiered 2 months after SR's murder, and 3 contains lyrics where defendant Banks describes catching and shooting an op. On January 23rd, 2026, defendants filed a supplemental memorandum that seeks to categorically exclude all of the music admissions, claiming that the lyrics are hyperbole and prejudicial. Defendants' filing, however, is telling and what it omits. Defendants do not credibly dispute the relevance of the music admissions, nor meaningfully address or distinguish any case the government has cited. The government proposed excerpt is approximately 34 seconds of the music video, which is 3 minutes and 41 seconds long. All right, so the government basically is saying a whole bunch of nothing in that first part, but they're saying a whole lot. What they're saying is if this wasn't relevant information, then damn, we wouldn't even put it in there. But then fail to mention that they're saying they don't want this shit in there because you're going to prejudice them, because they're saying none of this stuff is actually true. And here's the main thing that I think the government failed to realize in this shit. Y'all don't do y'all history nor y'all research or homework on when the videos were created, when the songs were recorded. So all Drew has to do is go, all right, hey, engineer and the person who shot the music video, I need proof that this happened here, this happened here, and this happened here. And then y'all talked about Durk said he slides on ops. Nowhere in any of this shit are they actually even saying that Lil Durk actually shot at anybody. That's why it's called a murder for hire. You don't actually have him on a murder. So you just technically defeated your own damn argument, dumbass. But hey, it is what it is. Hit that QR code and don't be a dumbass today and get paid $5 on Nash when you hit that dang QR code. Tap the link in the description. That's free cash, $5 on Nash when you put the actual app into your phone and start playing games. I guess the game that y'all messing with that gets y'all a lot of money is Monopoly Go. Y'all cheat on Monopoly anyway, so I would never play with y'all any goddamn ways in the real world. But in the virtual world, I might mess with y'all. But hit that QR code and tap the link in the description. Let's continue on with this BS that the government trying to put out there. It's multiple filings addressing the admissibility of the music admissions, nor could they. The music admissions that defendants Banks and Wilson have made go to the heart of this trial and are admissible under relevant case law. As described below, the lyrics show that defendants and uncharged co-conspirators operated as a gang targeting ops. They show defendant Banks was a leader of OTF who used his money for violence, e.g., I pay rent, they're my shooters. They show defendant Banks admitting that he is the type to hop on a flight with a warrant, as he tried to do in this case. And they showed defendant Banks rewarded the alleged hitman in this case by, among other things, placement and participation in music videos that were released in the months following SR's killing. These admissions are relevant and material to court disputed issues the jury will need to decide when determining who killed SR and the reason the hitman stalked and attempted to execute Bowman on a busy street in Los Angeles. Moreover, defendants are moving parties here and bear the burden to show their overboard relief. Exclusion of all lyrics and music evidence is warranted. They have failed to do so. The government respectfully requests that the court deny the motion and rule that the excerpts of the music admissions will be admitted. Argument. If y'all remember, we called this shit months ago. We said this is a bullshit trial based on BS because now they're citing the songs. They're saying the songs and the music videos. Oh, this is what actually wraps it all up. Not just what the reliable snitches that you guys have. No. This music video. So if they somehow manage to say, well, hold on, bruh. They already been in music videos before. So what the hell are you talking about? Are you saying that Durk knew months ahead that all of this crap was going to happen? Because they had to show some type of evidence that's going to say, you know what, man? Durk, he been bad. He planned this a year ago before it even happened. He knew they was going to shoot him here, and here. But if that's the case, then why didn't they grease Quando Rondo and his people at the weed shop? I don't know. Wrote it. The admissions are material to prove core disputed issues. The music admissions are relevant, material, and admissible for numerous reasons, each of which is well supported by case law. The excerpted admissions show the co-conspirators' criminal relationship and the background and development of this murder conspiracy, including defendant Banks and OTF's rivalry with Bowman. See United States versus Smith. 2. Corroborated anticipated testimony that the conspirators acted at defendant Banks and his trusted intermediaries' direction. United States versus Belfast. Rap lyrics particularly probative given the defendants' repeated assaults on the credibility of the government's principal witnesses who testified about the defendants' control over co-conspirators. 3. Explain the reason that defendant Banks and his co-conspirators would kill Bowman and show how and why the hitman flew across the country in search of a reward for the killing. United States versus Santiago. And 4, show the co-conspirators' association with members of the enterprise and motive to participate in the charged conduct against rival gang members. See United States versus Pierce. Rap videos admissible to show criminal relationship and motive. The problem that the government already has is, and with the plain shit is this. Drew already explained it, and that shit's gonna fail. You said that Durk said out of his own mouth he hops on a plane when he has a warrant. How the hell could Durk have known he had a warrant? There was no damn way. You can't show any place or anything that gives knowledge to say Lil Durk actually knew that there was a damn warrant. And Drew already showed Lil Durk got so much damn money that how he plans to operate and how he moves, he basically does this. He gets on a plane, takes off the day of. Oh, I feel like going to Miami? Shit, what's the prices on the flights to Miami that morning? I'm going to Miami. That's how he does it. It is what it is. So y'all already wrong on that, and Drew gonna whoop that like a bad stepchild. Let's continue on. In this claim, admissibility of lyrics and music videos is well supported by case law. As discussed above in the government's prior filings, courts routinely permit the government to introduce evidence like the music admissions in conspiracy and gang cases. Defendants, however, assert that the music admissions should be treated differently and wholesale excluded because the evidence admits to art and poetry. These arguments have been rejected by multiple courts of appeals. For example, United States versus Pierce. The Second Circuit held that admission of a rap video did not violate the First Amendment because the speech is not itself the prescribed conduct, but was rather used to establish the existence of and the defendant's participation in the alleged RICO enterprises. A Supreme Court has already made clear the First Amendment does not prohibit the evidentiary use of speech to establish the elements of a crime or to prove motive or intent. Wilson versus Mitchell. Accordingly, in Pierce, the court held that the rap video was admissible to show defendants' animosity towards rivals and his association with his gang. The court's reasoning and holdings in Pierce are not outliers. For example, United States versus Belfast, the 11th Circuit affirmed the admission of rap lyrics in a torture act case, alleging that the defendant directed acts of torture committed by the Liberian government's anti-terrorism unit. The district court admitted the defendant's rap lyrics, excluding admission, stating, "Take this for free. 6 feet is where you gonna be. ATU niggas on the scene. Body bag is all you see. The court affirmed the admission of the lyrics, reasoning that by referring to the ATU, the lyrics provided evidence of the defendant's association with and continued identification as a member of the ATU. The court emphasized that the lyrics were particularly probative given the defendant's repeated assaults on the credibility of the government's principal witness who testified about the defendant's control over the ATU and contradicted the defendant's post-arrest statements that he had never seen the ATU beat or kill anyone. Likewise, in United States versus Stuckey, the Sixth Circuit affirmed the admission of rap lyrics in the murder case to show that the defendant killed the victims. The court reasoned that the statements that the defendant dislikes and kills snitches, fills their bodies with holes, wraps them in blankets, and dumps them in the road provides direct evidence that the defendant shot the victim, wrapped his body in blankets, and dumped it in the road. Pierce, Belfast, and Stuckey are directly applicable here because the music admissions prove inter alia defendants' animosity towards rivals, association with OTF, the gang, and will be particularly probative given the crux of defendant's defense will be to attack the credibility of government's witnesses. That's actually not what's going to happen, but okay. Pierce, Stuckey, defendant's request for a categorical bar on the music admission is baseless and should be rejected. Then we go on to see right here. The music admissions are narrowly tailored and relevant on their face. Rather than grapple with the actual text of the government's proposed music admissions, defendant again seeks to categorically exclude the government's proposed evidence as non-decorative, non-linear, and almost nonsensical. Docket 350 at 28. But the plain text of the admissions show otherwise. They are particular explicit statements that prove core disputed issues in the case. This where the government actually takes a big ass W, because the government basically is saying, hey, all of this shit points to stuff that they already did. So y'all can say whatever you want to say, but we got proof of this because you told us this in your raps. But they're citing shit of people who actually did certain things afterwards. So the government is kicking its own self in the ass because it said, hey, bro, afterwards. Now, if those songs happened before and he did it exactly like he said, that still doesn't help the damn government's case because it was literally too particular, meaning they described it to a T. So that's a problem. If I say I'm going to stab you in the face and then push you off of a bridge and then write a say goodbye note to your kids, and I actually did those three things in those exact ways, then that's admissible. But to say, man, when I see you, man, when we see you, we going to kill you, that's way too broad. And that's what Drew is going to basically have to fight with, in my opinion. So the part that y'all was waiting on, admissions, defendant Banks and OTF had motive for seeking revenge for Bennett's death and to kill Bowman. They be like, slide for Vaughn, I know they trolling me. Got it back in blood, y'all just don't know. That's how it's supposed to be. Banks, don't respond to shit with Vaughn. I'm like, F it, you tripping? Go get your gun. They drop on locations. I'm getting it done. F tweeting, we sliding, the feds are coming. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I ain't gonna lie. The defendant Banks was the leader of OTF who funded his co-conspirators' violence against rivals, including placing bounties. Banks, we ain't trying to make peace with them boys. I pay rent. They're my shooters. Banks, I don't want no niggas who you catch. I want the one I paid for. Trolling ass, we shot your homie. Banks, popping traffic, we in Cali riding through Beverly Hills with choppers. Bounty hunter. Banks, for the niggas who can carry, I'll buy them $50K in guns. That defendant Wilson was one of the defendants Banks trusted co-conspirators and rewarded hitmen. Banks, got Didi with me, threat. No, big threat. Block war, I got Didi with me. He a block boy, hot boys. Got so many guns, we feel like Glock boys. Wilson, whenever you with, I'm with. Hop in the car with the gang, then you know it's all pressure. The members pop out with switches and you know they so extra. Knock them off up close. OTF, we don't do long distance. Brain missing. Now you know a nigga top off 10K to get a nigga knocked off. Wilson, we got time to slide. The only thing we ducking is the Jakes police. Grab the Glock and it ain't no safety. All my niggas, they fighting cases. Murder ones, they beating the state. Wilson, I done masked up with gorillas. 100 shots up the sprinters. If he died, that's what he get. 100 shots dumped in the whip. I take pride in doing hits. Go and slide and do a blitz. Yo, homie died because we ain't missed. God damn. Nigga, they better not play this shit. Admissions with striking similarity to co-conspirators' conduct in this case. Wilson, we spin his block, we pop out that car, I'm on his ass. I hate the way. I'd never heard the dude. Only time I heard was on the news. It's bad, bro. Wilson, we don't shoot out cars, phone them hopping out and hawk you down. I'm close enough to ask that nigga how this chopper sound. Damn, Diddy, you was spitting on there, but bruh, what the hell? Sheesh, Banks. Before they spin, told him get they blickies and get them tints darker. Go fool his ass. He think we buying some cars, we hop out, scoom his ass. Fool his ass. He ain't paying attention to the car because we got Uber tags. Banks attempt to flee the country hours after his co-conspirators arrested. Banks, I'm the type to hop on a flight with a warrant. You gotta catch me. The visual depictions in the excerpted music videos are also material to proving the co-conspirators' relationship and involvement with the murder scheme. In addition to the verbal admissions, the music admissions contain key visual depictions that, one, provide necessary context to the lyrics, i.e. photographs depicting Devon Bennett, aka King Von, while defendant Banks raps about killing his rivals or ops. 2, shows the relationship and connection between the co-conspirators involved in the murder scheme. And 3, provides the downstream benefits rewarded to the co-conspirators involved in the murder scheme, including prominent placement in music videos following SR's murder. For example, multiple music videos posted online after SR's murder depicted co-conspirators with prominent visuals paying homage to Bennett, whose killing in 2020 prompted the attempt to kill Bowman. Another video shows defendant Wilson wearing a conspicuous OTF chain, rapping, "We don't shoot our cars, phone them hopping out, hawk you down. I'm close enough to ask that nigga how this chopper sound." Such visual depictions are therefore highly probative of the key relationships the government must prove at trial. We'll leave it at that. Now listen, bro. Them lyrics in particular, they bad as hell. It is what it is. It would be highly prejudicial, but if these cats rap like this after basically Quando Rondo cousin Lil Pop got killed, bro, y'all brought this shit on yourselves. We can only pretend so much to the point where if y'all really rapping like this, then so be it. But if I'm Drew and if I'm a defense, I'm saying, all right, let's play the video. Did he get close? Did they actually run up on him? He said, I ran up on him and basically asked him how that chopper sound, which means that essentially dude was already down and on the ground. That didn't happen. So them trying to say it like that, it doesn't meet every single thing that they said, because you had to do 1, 2, and 3. When they talked about the other case with Pierce, or was that with Belfast? Yeah, Belfast. When they talked about the case with Belfast, he rapped about everything that he did to the T. That's self-snitching. In this instance, that didn't happen. So I would recite, me personally, I would recite Belfast if I'm the defense, and I would go, you know what? The government is right, but the government is wrong. You see, if I ever say I did this, then I had to do it all. And they didn't do that. But ultimately, Nash, do you think that the judge is going to let this shit in? I think the majority of the lyrics get let in. I do. And I think the judge is going to say this: you have the right to battle it out. But if I'm them, you're supposed to not want this shit in court. It don't matter, bro. Like, it's the government. Oh, well, if it didn't matter, he wouldn't even trip. Shut your whole ass up. What are you talking about? You don't want none of that in. You wouldn't want none of that in if you're on the opposite side of the table. So, nah, bro. But if I'm Drew, I'm looking at Quando Rondo's lyrics and I'm introducing those, because Quando Rondo basically gonna say he got ops in his city that want to see him get killed, basically. And that's what I'm introducing. Because I'm gonna say, well, even if this is true, man, we ain't the only people that wanted Quando Rondo dead. There's a whole entire war within his city that he warring with right now. I'll be dropping so much audio and shit about Quando Rondo, it would make it seem like he had it coming. Not saying that he did. But for me, nigga, this is a battle for my life. My goddamn attorneys got to go in there and go find out lyrics and all this shit from Quando Rondo and all of this stuff. I would even bring up where Quando Rondo say basically, hey, bro, it was cats in LA who actually killed my people, not these Chicago cats. That's Shaquan Rouse in this shit. He said, I feel like somebody in LA basically got me shot. Well, my cousin killed. But y'all, let me know your thoughts on this one. Is Sadie Nash just a super ass OTF fan who's paid off by everybody? Or am I keeping it real in this one? And it's like, bro, the government need to do this shit. Or y'all somewhere in the middle where y'all like, you know what, Nash, we agree because some of this shit is going to come in because they shouldn't have been rapping like that. Or maybe you got some dumbass shit to say. Or I'm just a dumbass. I don't know. But y'all let me know your thoughts on this, man. If you can, HNO, man, help Nash out. Hit that like button like you like some. Comment your thoughts and subscribe, man. We're giving these two away at 300K. But we got another freaking giveaway that I want to do. 2 of them. And I think y'all really going to like these ones. Special announcement, but I won't tell you when. We just going to have it pop out. And if you qualify, you qualify. Got y'all. Other than that, click right here to see how a plea deal is snitching. I'll let y'all be the judge of this one. Click right here to see the Max B plea deal. He doesn't say anything, but he signs off on things. Y'all be the judge on that one. Click right here or click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. We back.